Welcome to the Upside Journal podcast. In 2026, domestic venture capital is struggling with extended exit timelines and dry powder gridlock. Yet, a sophisticated layer of cross-border diaspora business networks is quietly unlocking predictable, counter-cyclical returns in AI and climate tech. Today, we're breaking down the hidden alpha traditional funds are missing. Let's get right into it. We are officially moving past this whole illusion of raw data abundance. For years, executives have been drowning in information, literally hoping that layering on one more dashboard would magically fix their business choices. But as we'll map out in this explainer, we are entering a highly structured, rigorous era of AI-driven decision intelligence. It's no longer about just hoarding data. It's about architecting systems that translate those data streams into automated executive insight while maintaining absolute fiduciary control. Here is the institutional roadmap for our explainer today. We'll be moving through 5 specific areas. First, the decision intelligence paradigm. Second, escaping the dashboard illusion. Third, architecting the 5 layers. Fourth, establishing accountability boundaries. And finally, we'll unpack the AI governance flywheel. Let's start with Section 1, the decision intelligence paradigm. Eric Kutcher, McKinsey's North America chair, hit the nail on the head here. He notes that this is probably the biggest, most complex transformation we've seen, but it's 80% business transformation and only 20% tech. You really have to internalize that ratio. Deploying AI across an enterprise, it's primarily an organizational design challenge, not some standard IT procurement task. It sets the stakes for high-level fiduciary control. You aren't just buying software off the shelf. You are fundamentally rewiring how your company executes high-stakes decisions. And here is the crucial takeaway. AI's primary value isn't making the final call for you. It's compression. True decision intelligence accelerates your path to human insight by utilizing probabilistic modeling to literally cut through the noise. It takes what used to be weeks of manual scenario generation and compresses it down into seconds. It delivers a well-reasoned option set so that human leaders can step in and apply actual judgment. Moving to Section 2, escaping the dashboard illusion. This gets right to the heart of what we call the VC paradox of 2026. Look, in the obsolete dashboard era, we were all dealing with severe information latency. You had overflowing, uncoordinated metrics requiring manual exploration at human speed. Honestly, you could have a beautifully instrumented dashboard and still make a terrible capital allocation call. Decision intelligence completely flips this. It's built on probabilistic modeling and machine-assisted insight. It actively isolates the signal from the noise, focusing on decision quality rather than just throwing more data volume at the wall. But this transition introduces massive risks, specifically a systemic failure we refer to as the orphaned decision. This happens when a model ships, the IT infrastructure holds up fine, but no executive actually owns the gap between the data being available and it being ready for a regulatory decision. It creates a severe organizational vulnerability, often deeply tied to asymmetric information and talent verification gaps. It happens the second model outputs are blindly treated as neutral facts rather than first drafts. When the seams of an organization break down like this, you get decisions with absolutely no clear owner. To prevent that vulnerability, you have to establish incredibly strict risk boundaries. There are 3 categories AI must absolutely never own. First, accountability for the outcome. Diffusing blame to an algorithm is a complete governance failure. Second, the final call on irreversible decisions. Think market exits or major capital commitments. And third, framing the initial question. AI is phenomenal at answering questions, but it's terrible at knowing if you're even asking the right one. The algorithm's end and human accountability loops must definitively begin right here. All right, Section 3, architecting the 5 layers. To achieve true decision intelligence, especially when you're looking for that climate tech supply chain edge we mentioned earlier, you need a rigorous 5-layered architecture. You don't just jump straight to AI. You start at layer 1 with trusted, harmonized data. Layer 2 is live reporting and semantic models. Layer 3 introduces augmented insight. This is where AI explains drivers and flags real-time anomalies. Layer 4 is predictive planning for complex scenarios, like modeling margin and capacity. And finally, Layer 5 is executive action, where decisions are approved, executed, and measured. It's a closed-loop structure that perfectly links technical integration with accountable governance. Sustaining those layers requires explicit operational mechanics. This is your fiduciary control architecture. Step 1 is data governance, meaning named individuals own the data to ensure absolute consistency.
Step 2 is model governance. The logic has to be explainable. If you can't explain why a model made a specific forecast, it is completely ungoverned. Step 3 is AI oversight. You have to retain human-in-the-loop review points to monitor for drift and bias. This is exactly how you shield the enterprise from hallucinated confidence.
Here is the modern AI reality in a nutshell. Generation got cheap, control did not. Generating probabilistic insights costs almost nothing today. The true premium assets in 2026 are the governance architecture and the verification protocols. The safest operational pattern we see is this. AI drafts the business logic at design time, humans inspect and approve it, and then it executes deterministically at runtime. No AI hallucinating live decisions on the fly. Which brings us to Section 4, establishing accountability boundaries. To solve that orphan decision crisis we talked about, you have to stop dividing tasks and start dividing accountability. The Chief Information Officer certifies the system. They ensure the infrastructure is secure. The Chief Data Officer certifies the data asset, proving it's clean and governed. And the Chief Data and Analytics Officer, they certify the model and the decision it drives. If a decision goes south but the data was fine, the CDAO answers for it. You absolutely have to codify these boundaries. And here is a golden rule for executive reviews to solve what's known as the confidence disclosure problem. AI output is highly fluent, right? It sounds incredibly confident even when it's totally hallucinating. Because of that, AI fluency should never ever be mistaken for reliability without a documented signal-to-noise ratio. If an AI-generated recommendation hits a CEO's desk without an explicit, disclosed confidence indicator attached to it, that is a massive operational failure. Let's wrap up with Section 5. The AI governance flywheel. This is your repeatable framework. Our research reveals two very different financial planning and analysis archetypes. On one side, you have the global efficiency engine. It's built for scale, standardizing processes with a heavy dose of human oversight. On the other side, you have system-governed design. This is built for autonomy, where AI agents act continuously at machine speed to reduce decision latency, like reallocating cloud spend in real time. But notice the critical trade-off here. As you increase machine autonomy, highly critical governance designs become absolutely essential. This builds to the core narrative arc of our explainer today, the agency shift. As systems systematically take over initiating work, human accountability doesn't disappear, it actually elevates. You are shifting from being the operator of a manual process to the accountable architect of the system's parameters. Think about that. As AI scales, human fiduciary responsibility becomes far more important, not less. So here is your actionable enterprise playbook. To maintain rigorous risk control while scaling automated insight, CEOs must set strict verification protocols. You have to define explicit tiers of autonomy. What is the AI allowed to just recommend versus what can it actually execute? You must mandate human-in-the-loop accountability for high-stakes decisions, and you need a strict cadence to iterate these model parameters quarterly as the tech and business environment evolve. As agentic AI operates with increasing autonomy at machine speed, who is architecting the boundaries of your enterprise's decision intelligence today? If you don't know the answer to that question, you have a governance gap that needs fixing immediately. Capital has become highly commoditized, but the infrastructure to execute high-trust, cross-border deal flow is rare. To get ahead of these macro signals and access our premium investor network, subscribe to the Upside Journal and join our membership communities. See you in the next Daily Drop.